Good morning, children. In the previous class, we have already discussed about the structure of chloroplast. So, the structure of chloroplast, we have seen there are two layers. One is the outer membrane, another one is inner membrane. They are covering the chloroplast, and chloroplast are disc-shaped structures. There is another membrane inside the chloroplast that is called a thylakoid membrane. Which membrane? Thylakoid membrane. The thylakoid membrane is also called as a fat membrane. It is having 20 to 30% fat and 70 to 80% proteins. Okay, children? So in the fat layer, because the thylakoid membrane is having fat, there are several fat soluble pigments are present inside the thylakoid membrane. These fat soluble pigments are chlorophyll, xanthophyll, carotenoids and other colored pigments called accessory pigments. They all around 250 to 400 pigments grouped together, and the chlorophyll molecule will be the center and the other accessory pigments will be around the centrally located chlorophyll pigment, and they make a reaction centers, also called as light harvesting complex. These light harvesting complexes, they absorb the solar energy. Already you know, children, solar energy or the sunlight is a part of electromagnetic radiation. It is having visible rays which ranges between 400 nanometer to 700 nanometer, and there are 7 different colors are there: violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. The chlorophyll molecules, they absorb all colors and reflect green color. That's why chlorophyll is green in color. Similarly, carotenoids are orange in color because they absorb all colors and they reflect orange color. Xanthophylls, they absorb all colors and they reflect yellow color. That's why it appears to be yellow in color. So when the sunlight comes, children already told you, the sunlight is having two type of nature. One is wavy nature and the other one is particle nature. So sunlight comes in the form of particles or small packets. These packets or particles of sunlight are called as photons of light. They are called as photons. And each photon will have quantum of energy. The energy present in a photon is called quantum. And the photons of light will have quanta of energy. Okay, children? So when the sunlight will fall on the light harvesting complexes, so surrounding the chlorophyll there are accessory pigments are there. They absorb different colors. And already children already told you, every wavelength of light will have certain energy. That means every color will have some amount of energy. And that energy, solar energy, quanta of energy are absorbed by the accessory pigments, and they push that energy to the centrally located chlorophyll molecules. Okay, children? And the chlorophyll molecule gets excited. Okay, children? So already in the previous class we have discussed about the structure of chloroplast, and we came to know that chloroplast is having 3 membranes: outer membrane, inner membrane, and there are stalks of thylakoid membranes called as grana. Further called, singularly it is called as granum, plural it is called as grana thylakoids. Okay, children? And there is a fluid filled structure present inside the chloroplast that is called as stroma. Okay, children? So we came to know that the light reactions of photosynthesis, that means the light dependent reactions of photosynthesis, takes place in the grana of the chloroplast. So entire process of photosynthesis takes place inside the chloroplast. Chloroplasts are present in mesophyll cells and Gerd cells in the stomata. Okay, children? And mostly they are present in the leaves. That's why the leaves are called as food factory of the plants. Okay, children? So, already we came to know about the ultrastructure of the chloroplast, and the light reactions of photosynthesis takes place in the grana thylakoids, and the dark reactions or light independent reactions are occurring inside the stroma of the chloroplast. So from these children, you might have now an idea about the mechanism of photosynthesis. Okay, children? So there are two processes occurs in the mechanism of photosynthesis. The first part is called as light reactions, followed by the second part that is called as dark reactions. First of all, let us discuss about the light reactions of photosynthesis, or they are also called as light dependent reactions. That is the first step in the mechanism of photosynthesis. Okay, children? So this I will tell you in 4 different steps. Very complex processes, but very interesting. Okay, children? This is very interesting. How photosynthesis, how the mechanism of photosynthesis takes place inside the chloroplast of the leaves. Okay, children? Very easy. So first, light reactions means all the chemical reactions that takes place in the grana of the chloroplast depends on the presence of sunlight. Okay, and the first point is the first step. I already told you there are 4 steps in the light reactions, but in the first step, activation of the chlorophyll molecules. Activation of the chlorophyll molecules. Throughout the night, almost the chlorophyll molecules, they will be in sleeping conditions. They don't have any work. When the sun rises, when the sunlight will fall on the chlorophyll molecules. Okay, children? The chlorophyll molecules rise up. They get activated. So during night time you are sleeping, that means you are inactive. But when morning comes, what do? You get up, you rise up, you get active. Similarly, when the sunlight will fall on the chlorophyll molecules, the accessory pigments which are present around the chlorophyll molecules, first of all they get activated, they trap the solar energy. In the photons of light, there are quanta of energy. So when quanta of energy are applied on the pigments will get activated. Okay, children? So the chlorophyll molecules, after getting energy, it is energized. It is in a highly active state. Okay, children? And simply it loses an electron. It loses an electron when all the energy from accessory pigments, they are pushed to the centrally located chlorophyll molecule, maybe chlorophyll A or maybe chlorophyll B. There are 2 types of photosystems are there, already I told you, photosystem 2 and photosystem 1. They are also called as reaction centers or light harvesting complexes. So when sunlight will fall on them, when photons of light will fall on them, when they absorb quanta of energy, then the chlorophyll molecule gets oxidized. Already children, you know, in biological systems, in every life processes, biological systems, oxidation and reduction reactions are coupled with each other. Oxidation and reduction reactions are coupled with each other. For example, if there is a donor and is having hydrogen and there is an acceptor, the donor, if it leaves the hydrogen, then the acceptor will accept the hydrogen. So here you can see the removal of hydrogen, the donor will get oxidized by by removing the hydrogen. Whereas the acceptor will accept the hydrogen. So addition of hydrogen is called as reduction. Okay children, already oxidation you know, addition of oxygen is called oxidation. Reduction is reverse, removal of oxygen is called as reduction. Similarly, addition of hydrogen is called reduction, removal of hydrogen is called oxidation. Similarly, addition of electron is called reduction and removal of electron is called as oxidation. Here what happens exactly? When the quanta of energy are absorbed by the centrally located chlorophyll molecule, the chlorophyll molecule removes or ejects an electron. So removal of electron is called as oxidation. So chlorophyll molecule gets oxidized. Okay children, that is the first step. What is the first step? Activation of the chlorophyll molecule. See here, there is an equation I have already written. Chlorophyll plus light energy. Light energy, quanta of energy. Then what happens? The chlorophyll molecule, chlorophyll plus means oxidized. This is called oxidized chlorophyll molecule plus electron. So electrons are ejected. Okay children, electrons are removed from the chlorophyll molecule. So when the electrons they move, electron is a negatively charged particle. Electron is a negatively charged particles. Charged particle, both protons and electrons. Protons are positively charged particles. Electrons are negatively charged particles. Already in physics you might have learnt about electricity. In electricity, when you switch on the light, what happens? The electrons they move. And the charged particles, both electrons and protons, when they move, they carry energy. What they carry? The charged particles, they carry energy. Okay children, in the second step, what happens you see? Second step is called photophosphorylation. What is that? Photophosphorylation. Photo means light. Phosphorylation means addition of phosphate molecule to ADP, that means adenosine diphosphate. Adenosine diphosphate and a phosphate is added. Then what happens? It forms adenosine triphosphate. ATP means adenosine triphosphate. You can see here. Adenosine triphosphate. Adenosine triphosphate means 3 phosphates. For that, you can see energy is required for addition of an inorganic phosphate to adenosine diphosphate. So phosphate and phosphate, they make a bond, single bond, and their energy is stored. So whatever the energy that is derived from the sunlight, this energy or electrons, charged particles will have energy. Okay, this energy is being trapped by adenosine diphosphate and inorganic phosphate to make a highly energy rich molecule, also called as assimilatory power. That is the energy, that is ATP. Already children already know ATP are called, what they are called? Adenosine triphosphate. They are the energy currency of the cell. Inside the body of any living organism, energy is stored in the form of ATP. Whenever required, this ATP, the energy present in the ATP is utilized. That's why it is called assimilatory power. Okay children, so formation of ATP from ADP and inorganic phosphate is called phosphorylation. What it is called? It is called phosphorylation. Okay children, because this phosphorylation or the formation of ATP occurs in the presence of sunlight, because of this light only, like from the light energy only, energy comes and that energy is stored in ATP in the chloroplast of the leaves during photosynthesis. So it is called as photophosphorylation. What it is called? Photophosphorylation. Okay, children. So we came to know that in the second step, the first step and second step is over. Okay. Now, what is the third step? Third step is called as photolysis of water. Photolysis of water. What it is called? Photo means light. Lysis means breaking down of water. That means splitting up of water molecule. Water molecule, already you know H2O. Water molecule is splitted off. Splitting up of water molecule by the light activated. Already you children you know when the light rays fall on the chlorophyll molecule get oxidized. Okay children. So splitting up of water molecule by the light activated oxidized chlorophyll molecule is known as photolysis of water. So here what happens? The oxidized chlorophyll molecule. How does the chlorophyll molecule get oxidized? After receiving the quanta of energy from the photons of light. The chlorophyll molecule has ejected an electron. Already in the first step only I told you. Chlorophyll molecule get excited. Okay, so that oxidized chlorophyll molecule has lot of energy. So this chlorophyll molecule can break up the water molecule. That is called as splitting up of water molecule. Splitting up of water molecule by the light activated oxidized chlorophyll molecule is called photolysis of water. You can see two molecules of water. It is a balanced equation. Two molecules of water. When they split it off, they give 4 hydrogen ions. They are the protons. Already I told you they are positively charged particles. And 4 electrons. And molecular oxygen is released. What is released? Oxygen molecules. Already you children you know plants they have stomata. Leaves they will have stomata. Both in the upper epidermis and lower epidermis. In the lower epidermis that number is more. Okay children. So through these stoma means the opening of the stomata. Okay, the oxygen molecule goes out into the atmosphere. So children already in the beginning of photosynthesis we have written the equation for photosynthesis and we have seen oxygen gas is released during photosynthesis. Also John Engine has hydrilla experiment. We have seen the gas bubbles that comes out during photosynthesis in the presence of light are oxygen. Already we have proved it. So initially the scientists they thought that the oxygen that comes from the or comes during the photosynthesis is from carbon dioxide. CO2. CO2 is a molecular formula for carbon dioxide. So carbon gets separated and oxygen gets separated, and oxygen that comes out during photosynthesis is actually comes from carbon dioxide. But later on, different scientists they have proved that no, the oxygen that comes out from the comes out during photosynthesis is not from carbon dioxide, but it is from water. This is also called as, this is actually proved by Robert Hill. That's why photolysis of water is also called as Hill's reaction. Scientist name. Hill means scientist, not Kondakar. Hill means Robert Hill is the name of the scientist who proved that the oxygen that comes out from during photosynthesis is actually from water, not from the carbon dioxide. See here the equation 2H2O gives rise to 4H plus ion, that means protons, plus 4 electrons, and oxygen gas is evolved during photosynthesis. Okay children? So this is called Hill's reaction, also called as photolysis of water. Photo means light, lysis means breaking down. So of water, that means water is broken, splitted off by the oxidized chlorophyll molecule. And how the chlorophyll molecule get oxidized? Because of the light energy or solar energy. Okay children, so splitting up of water molecule by the light activated oxidized chlorophyll molecule is called as photolysis of water. Understood children? So here we have seen protons or hydrogens and electrons are produced during photolysis of water, and oxygen being a gas, it is entering into the atmosphere. So the final part of the light reaction, that is the fourth step, that is called a reduction of a molecule that is called NADP, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. That is a molecule that is present inside the thylakoid membrane. Okay children, this NADP is an energy rich molecule. Okay, it will gain energy when protons and electrons are added to it. So in the photolysis of water, 4 protons, 4 electrons are already there. So this hydrogen is added and electrons are added. They are charged particles. Protons and electrons are charged particles and they carry energy. And this energy is being trapped by NADP and NADP gets reduced. Already know addition of hydrogen is called reduction. Addition of electron is also called as reduction. So the hydrogen ions and the electrons that are produced during the photolysis of water are being used up, being added up to the NADP to form NADPH2. NADPH2. H2 is added, you can see here. H2 is added here. Addition of hydrogen. If hydrogen is added, then the substance will get reduced. Okay children? Understood now? So here at the end of the light reactions, what are the end products? You will see. So during photolysis of water, we have seen oxygen gas is released. Yes or no? And during reduction of NADP, you have seen NADPH2 is produced. And during phosphorylation, photophosphorylation, ATPs are produced. So ATP, NADH2 or NADPH2, NADPH2 means nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. H2 add aithe reduce, because addition of hydrogen is called reduction. So reduced nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate, ATP and oxygen are the end products of light reactions. Okay children, and light reaction occurs in the thylakoid membrane of grana in the chloroplast. Okay children, so what is the site of light reactions? Light reactions takes place in the grana thylakoids. Okay children, in the chloroplast. Okay, next we will discuss about the dark reaction. So the next step is called as dark reaction. Dark reaction is also called as light independent reaction, because the dark reaction takes place in the stroma of the chloroplast. Okay children, where the stroma of the chloroplast, that is the fluid field matrix of the chloroplast, is called stroma. In the stroma there are different types of enzymes and there are different types of proteins and sugars are also present, which helps in synthesis of carbohydrate by trapping or fixing the carbon dioxide. In the light reaction children, we have seen nowhere carbon dioxide was used. Okay, in the equation for photosynthesis we have seen 6 molecules of carbon dioxide plus 12 molecule of water in the presence of sunlight and chloroplast gives glucose, oxygen, 6 molecule of oxygen and 6 molecule of water. So during the light reaction, water was used of. Photolysis of water has occurred. Protons, electron, oxygen was produced. Protons are used of for reduction of NADP, and electrons are used during cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation to produce ATP in the reaction centers. Okay, children. So the end product of light reactions was ATP, NADPH2. They both are assimilatory powers which will be used during the dark reaction to fix the carbon dioxide, and oxygen gas is also produced. But during dark reaction, here the carbon dioxide is fixed inside the stroma of the chloroplast. Okay, children, this dark reaction is also called as light independent reactions, because dark reaction means, it doesn't mean that all these reactions will take place only in the darkness. Even in the presence of light or in the absence of light, that means independent of the presence of light, all these reactions will take place. That's why the dark reaction is also called as light independent reactions. Light is not required. So in the presence of light or in the absence of light also, all these reactions may take place. That's why it is called light independent reactions. Okay, children? And all these reactions were discovered by Melvin Calvin. That's why this is also called as Calvin cycle. This is a cyclic reactions. That's why it is called as Calvin cycle. Okay, children? So dark reaction occurs mainly in the 4 steps. I will explain you. In the first step, there is a sugar, 5 carbon sugar, already present in the stroma of the chloroplast, that is called as RUBP. That means ribulose 1,5-diphosphate. Ribulose 1,5-di, or bi means by, both are means 2. 2 phosphate molecules are attached to the ribulose. Always the phosphate molecules will be attached to the terminal ends, first and last. Because it is a 5 carbon compound, in the first carbon atom, 1 phosphate will be attached, and in the last carbon, that is 5th carbon, there will be a phosphate molecule. So there are 2 phosphates, means bi or di, both you can take. So because it is RUBP, R means ribulose, RU means ribulose, B means bi means 2, and P means phosphate. Ribulose 1,5-biphosphate. That is a 5 carbon compound. It is already present in the stroma of the chloroplast. Okay, children? So 6 molecule of ribulose 1,5-diphosphate are required to initiate the dark reaction. They can fix 6 molecule of carbon dioxide. They can fix 6 molecules of carbon dioxide. So ribulose 1,5-biphosphate is a 5 carbon compound. Okay, children? And carbon dioxide is a 1 carbon compound. So 5 plus 1. That means a 6 carbon compound, that is called hexose sugar, is produced. Because 6 molecule of RUBP and 6 molecule of carbon dioxide we have taken. So 6 molecule of hexose sugar are produced. But this hexose sugar is highly unstable. So immediately it dissociates into 12 molecules of PGA. 12 molecules of PGA. PGA means phosphoglyceric acid. And already you know, in the 3 carbon compound, what is the terminal carbon? The 3rd carbon is the terminal carbon. So that's why phosphate is attached to the 3rd carbon. That's why it is called 3-phosphoglyceric acid. Acid is a group, functional group in organic chemistry. So the functional group will be attached to the terminal carbon. So it is a 3 carbon compound. So this is a very important step. PGA, 12 molecules of PGA are produced. That is the first stable product formed during the dark reaction. Because the first unstable product was hexose sugar and it was dissociated into 12 molecules of PGA. PGA means 3-phosphoglyceric acid. Okay, children. Next, you can see the second step. The 12 molecules of PGA in the first step which were produced, phosphoglyceric acid, plus in the light reaction already you know NADPH2 and ATP. They were the assimilatory powers which were produced, energy rich molecules, those were produced. Now energy is required. For this step, for the reduction of carbon dioxide, energy is required. So that's why NADPH2, 12 molecules of NADPH2 and 18 molecules of ATP which are produced during the light reactions are now utilized to form another isomer of PGA, that is 3-glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. What is that? Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. G3P means glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. It is also a 3 carbon compound. So how many carbons are there? 1, 2 and 3. In the terminal carbon there is a aldehyde group. That is a functional group in organic chemistry. Okay, children? So acid and aldehyde are functional groups. So they are attached to the carbon. In PGA, acid is attached, COOH. Already you might have learnt in organic chemistry. Okay, and here CHO, that means aldehyde group, that is attached. So both are 3 carbon compounds. PGA and G3P means glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Both are 3 carbon compound and they are isomers. Isomers means both are 3 carbon compounds. But for this conversion, the energy, the assimilatory powers which were produced during the light reactions, that is NADPH2 and ATP, they are now utilized for the conversion of PGA into G3P, means glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So 12 molecules of PGA will produce 12 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate in the second stage. Next, the third step. Out of these 12 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, G3P, only 2 glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate molecules, 2 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate molecules, which are 3 carbon compounds, combine together to form sugar. That is the glucose, C6H12O6. That is the glucose. And several molecules of glucose, they join together and form a complex carbohydrate, that is the starch. Okay, children, already you know that during photosynthesis, carbohydrates are produced by the green plants. So this is the carbohydrate. First glucose is produced. Several molecules of glucose, they combine together and form a complex structure that is called a starch. Already in the previous classes, children, already I told you that formation of starch is the index for photosynthesis. So during dark reaction, by utilizing carbon dioxide, glucose is produced. Okay, children? So the hydrogen that are present in the NADH2 are attached to the carbon dioxide. And for this attachment, the energy that is required are produced by energy-rich molecules, they are the ATPs. Okay, children? And for this step only, light reaction was very important. During light reaction, only oxygen gas is evolved and accumulatory powers like NADH2 and ATPs that are produced during the light reaction are utilized during the dark reaction for the conversion of carbon dioxide to glucose. Okay, children? And already I told you that this is called a cyclic process. That means 6 molecule of ribulose 1,5 biphosphate are utilized. They are already present in the stroma of the chloroplast, already produced in there. And they are now used to trap or fix 6 molecule of carbon dioxide, and glucose and starch are produced. To continue this process continuously, if the sugar or the carbohydrates has to be synthesized, so continuously, once again, the ribulose 1,5 biphosphate should be available in the stroma of the chloroplast. Okay, children? So that's why in the fourth stage, out of 12 molecules of PGA, we have used in the third step, we have used only 2 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Remaining 10 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate are already present. Okay, children? And the 10 molecule of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate molecules, they produce 6 molecule of ribulose 1,5 biphosphate, so that it can again fix 6 molecule of carbon dioxide and will continue the cycle. This cycle is called a Calvin cycle. This is called a Calvin cycle. Okay, children? Because of the name of the scientist. So at the end of the dark reaction, glucose is produced. So that is the byproduct of dark reaction. And during light reaction we have seen oxygen, NADPH2 and ATP are the end product of light reactions, and the end product of dark reaction is glucose and starch. So this is how during photosynthesis carbohydrates are synthesized by utilizing carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight and chloroplast. Understand, children? Even though it is a very complex process, but stepwise if you will follow them, then easily you can understand. Okay, children? Thank you. Thank you.